Hi, I'm back, and I'm not spinning anything today. There might be some spinning in this one, probably not. But I wanted to come on and I've got these. I was at Wise Market yesterday picking up some stuff to make potato salad for my parents' joint kind of birthday, and I found these Hass avocados that are just so red. Like, they're just this beautiful, look at this gorgeous color. And my mom happened to have two in the fridge. So I'm over at my parents' house, and their birthday cakes are in the oven. And I'm going to make some guacamole, clean off the skins and pits, and then I'm going to make a dye concentrate from them. So I'm wearing right now my, you can't really see it, but my Cielo top. So this was the kind of muslin that I made to test out the pattern and the fit and how I liked it, which I love it. I made it out of an old twin sheet, or part of an old twin sheet. And so part of the debate has been whether I should keep it white or dye it using avocados. And honestly, I'm still not sure. I kind of like having this. It's a really nice, like, crisp white. But I still have a ton more of the sheet left. So I might dye the sheet itself and then use that to either make another Cielo top or a bag or the lining on, I haven't talked about it on here yet, but I'm going to be kind of deconstructing and remaking one of those like bag liners. My grandma had a collapsible knitting basket that would like sit next to her chair. It was a little wooden frame with a bag sewn into it. And so I'm going to be recreating that with the help of my mom. I got some fabric. Maybe I'll use the avocado dyed as the lining, or another shirt, or something else entirely. But I'm going to make the dye concentrate today, so you can follow along. Alright, so I ended up not filming a lot of that just because, well, my family was over. I was at my parents' house. It was my mom and dad's joint birthday, and so it just didn't get filmed. But I have here my super concentrated avocado dye. It was significantly less concentrated, but I went to do the third, like after I'd strained and squeezed out everything, you're supposed to heat it again for like an hour over the stove, and I forgot to set a timer. So it is super strong. And so just what I'm gonna do for that is I filled my pot about a third of the way with water because this will need to be diluted a little bit. It should look lighter in color, but it shouldn't like actually affect, like it doesn't mean it's gonna dye a lighter color because it has the same, I read this somewhere, that it has the same amount of like dye particulates in it. But this is unfortunately the biggest pot that I have. So here's about half of my fabric. This is part of an old sheet. I used half of it for that first cielo top, or less than half of it. But, and so I'm going to try dyeing with this. So I've got about a third of the pot full of water. I'm now going to put this in and get it wet all the way and make sure every single bit of the fabric is wet. And now I can see that I am going to need more water. I do wish I had a bigger pot because it's better to have it kind of free floating. So I'm just making sure that every single bit of this fabric will be able to be submerged. It's important for the dye to be like always kind of touching and bonding with the fabric. And there'll need to be enough water in there where the dye itself isn't going to just kind of get stuck and not go into some of the crevices. We'll have to be able to float around a little bit, so I'm gonna have to remember to come and stir it quite a lot. So now that is, where did my towel go? Now that is nice and moist, I'm going to pour in the dye. And you can see it's like super dark and kind of, it was a little thick. It's not like water. It's a little thicker than water because it condensed so much. So I am just going to continue kind of mixing this around a little bit, make sure it's evenly distributed into the water. Maybe add a little bit more water. I think I need it just for this amount of fabric. And then I'm going to start to slowly, wow, you can see it's already going a little yellowy, but I'm going to start to slowly heat the dye now with the fabric in it. So really slowly heat it. And I'm going to come back and keep kind of stirring it and mixing it around to make sure the dye is getting in everywhere. Alright, so today you're getting a little selfie action chatting video. You might notice I'm sweaty as heck. My sister and I moved today, so it was a joint effort of just tons and tons of moving. And it's 90 degrees and I'm quite warm. But I'm ready to now clean the house and take a shower. But you can see behind me, oh, doesn't want to stay anymore, that's fine. This is the fabric that I dyed. It did not come out quite as expected. So when I did my kind of first heat through of the avocado skins and pits, I'm so sorry if me moving is making anyone feel nauseous. When we did our first, like the first kind of simmer for an hour, hour and a half, with it, it was coming out like a really nice, pretty kind of red, gentle color. And I'd read that after that you should let it cool, then go in, kind of mash everything up so that there's more like surface area to extract the dye. And so I did that and heated it again, as it said, or as like all the blogs I'd read had said to do. But kind of in that time, it went from being this really pretty reddish pink color to very brown and a little bit yellowy brown almost. Now that it's been kind of in the air, it has a slightly more pinkish hue than the yellow because it was quite yellowy before. So I guess some of it's oxidized a little bit, which is good, but still not as expected. So this was an experiment. It was done with part of an old twin sheet, so it really was no big deal. And I was making guacamole anyway, so I'm glad I attempted it. I will be attempting again. I don't think this is my color, So maybe I will make a little knitting, like a sock bag out of it or something. And I might try, I don't know, maybe some hand embroidery on it. I think it's a nice kind of background color for that. So yeah, I'm gonna go shower because I'm sweaty. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone.